Pechakucha 157, A World Without Superman. So this is the 1993 follow-up to Death of Superman, where he fights Doomsday, this big, grey, boring-ass nobody who kills Superman. And then he's dead, probably for a whole year or something, unless that's not true, because no one really ever dies in comics, do they? The kind of book I would pick up only because I'm going to a place where I don't have to pay for it. Who buys a Superman book where you are guaranteed no Superman? Well, I mean, it was only a $5 at the time of sale, so you know what, maybe people were more interested than I would have been. So, page 1, oh look, Superman's dead. Yeah. And there he is, draped in his cape. I feel like there might be references to actual pictures of art in this, maybe religious or otherwise. And the first sub-story is some guy who calls himself Gangbuster seeing Superman's dead. He's a retired superhero. He gets mad and thinks, maybe I need to get back out there. Maybe I could have done something. Maybe I need to do something now. Gets in a fight with his stepkid. He's an angry guy. He really does need to go jump off some roofs onto people's necks, like that other angry guy. So Martin Parr Kent, Superman's adopted parents, find out on the left, and they're sad. Lex Luthor, with his big red hair and his big red beard, with this strange person who is actually Supergirl, who has superpowers. I don't know what her superpowers are, but they're very super, because she can regenerate from being all scar tissued up. Second side, well, no, this is like the fifth side plot. Some shady government dudes want to take Superman's body and that of Doomsday. They get into a fight with the local cops. And the guy in the trench coat is the head of the shady dudes. He comes up a lot. Some of the superheroes try to do CPR on Superman. They set up this crazy generator thing to like defibrillate him and almost kill themselves. His body moves, but he is still as dead as you were ever going to see a superhero. But it's nice that they tried. So, obviously, with Superman dead, Clark Kent's gone missing, but he's not the only person, because the fight between Superman and Doomsday was cataclysmic. So no one's put 2 and 2 together, even though they've literally got photographs of Clark Kent with no glasses on, in a Superman costume, whatever. So, in another weird plot twist, you've got people from the future who decide to go back in time and maybe save Superman's life. They decide against it, because that's not how time travel works. You should respect the flow of time, but they're from the future. They should know that he comes back anyway. Don't they know about the New 52? So obviously Superman has a ridiculously grand funeral, paid in full, I think, by Lex Luthor, because Lex Luthor is not the Lex Luthor you think, the bald guy who's the bastard. He's this guy with the big red hair who's a really nice guy. Turns out actually it's the same guy. It's a confusing story that's not quite explained. Lobo is furious to find out that Superman is dead. This is obviously a different Lobo from the one in the Lobo comic I have, where he reads The Death of Superman as a comic, then goes to Comic-Con to get another copy. Whatever. I'm happy to see Lobo in this comic. It was pleasant. He punches someone in the face. Hilarity ensues. Batman also shows up to make sure that nobody causes trouble at the funeral of Superman. A riot does erupt, because of course it does. Because why wouldn't it, when there's literally like 200 superheroes marching in procession behind the Earth's greatest superhero, if you care for that. The president and his wife make a speech. You may recognize this obvious reference to the Clintons. And I can't help but notice how people feel about this if you were to look at this now, because obviously Hillary Clinton lost an election to the most impeachable president since, oh yeah, her husband. So the whole Lex Luthor thing. Apparently Lex Luthor had a kryptonite ring. It gave him radiation poisoning. He was gonna die. He faked his own death, and somehow his brain ended up in a new body. Which may be genetic, may be from another timeline, I don't know, it's not explained. It's crazy, it's interesting. So Lex Luthor is Lex Luthor the Second. Or refers to himself as such. Batman reminisces on being given a kryptonite ring by Superman. In case I go crazy, you're the only one I can trust to stop me, that kind of thing. This has actually stayed in the tropes since reboots. except now maybe Batman has kryptonite without Superman's blessing. Ma and Pa Kent obviously take the death of their son very hard. Jonathan Kent takes it harder. He has a heart attack after hallucinating various memories of of Clark as a kid growing up, and feeling personally responsible for his death. Jonathan Kent then goes on this kind of journey to hell or something, where he's not quite sure what he's doing. It's like a dream state kind of thing. It's surprising he doesn't meet Death or Dream from the Sandman universe, since they are DC property, but you can only do so much, right? He finds his son being in some procession. Who knows what's going on? He decides to take his son home with him, back to the real world, back from death. And somehow this is actually happening, because lo and behold, final page, Superman's coffin is empty, Jesus is risen. People around the world are reporting, a flash of light, cats out of trees, disasters averted. And it's really the way it should end. Superman stories always need to end with a hopeful, tint. I enjoyed it. It's one of the best comics I've read from the 90s. I wouldn't buy it, but I wouldn't buy many Superman comics. But yeah, no Sad Clown of the Week. I haven't got time for it. It's Inktober in 2 days, because it's just October, and you just call it Inktober if you are an artist and you're so inclined to draw art in some form that is black and white using ink in quote marks. You can do it digitally, you can do it traditionally. I'm going to try doing both, and I'm just going to try and do something every day of October. In fact, I've already done some stuff this week just to see if I could figure this out while having a full-time job, and to buy myself a couple of extra days in case shit's just too much. There's too much stuff going on. There is an official prompt list, and there has been for several years, of things you can choose to do to use to inspire you on a daily basis. I don't care for this. One of the days this week I had literally 20 minutes. I can't be coming up with a good idea and then drawing it well in only black and white because I suck at inking. There will be a lot of headshots. There will be a lot of thumbnail sketches. I don't think we'll be seeing any backgrounds. But the hope is that I will be posting some kind of image somewhere in black and white every day of October. And if you are an artist, and you probably are if you're watching this, I would strongly recommend you give it a go too. Just fuck it. If you've only got 20 minutes, then just do 20 minutes worth of something in black and white. Right, and obviously there will be more of this for me to discuss next week, when I will I've already got some of these done. I'll have more to show next week. Tuesday is the first day of October this week. The hardest thing will probably be figuring out how to post, but we will talk about this next week. So that brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 157. I'll see you next time.